For 30 years, I believed I knew everything about my life. I knew where I came from, who I belonged to, and who my father was, or at least the man everyone said was my father. I grew up in a small town, surrounded by the familiar faces of family and neighbors. I never questioned the stories my mother told me because, as children, we believe in our parents' words with the faith so complete that doubt feels almost like a betrayal. Her name was Evelyn, and she was my world. The woman who had raised me, who had wiped my tears, kissed my scraped knees, and tucked me in every night with a lullaby that felt like safety. She was strict sometimes, loving sometimes, but always my mother. And then, one ordinary evening, 30 years after my birth, she dropped a secret that would shatter everything I thought I knew. It began like most evenings in our small apartment. The quiet hum of the refrigerator, the muted sound of the television in the background, and the soft scent of the jasmine-scented candle she always lit. She looked at me over her cup of tea, her eyes wary but resolute. "Sit down, honey. I need to tell you something," she said. I didn't know what to expect. Even after all these years, her tone carried a gravity that made me stop whatever I was doing. I sat across from her, my heart beating a little faster than usual, my mind already racing through possibilities, illness, money troubles, family drama, but nothing prepared me for what she said next. "I haven't told you this before because I didn't know how," she began. Her hands trembled slightly as she held her tea. "But the man you've always called your father, he's not your real father." For a moment, the world stopped. I blinked. I thought I misheard. My brain refused to process the words. "What do you mean, Mom?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. She took a deep breath, staring into the swirling liquid of her tea as if looking for courage in its depths. "You have a right to know. I waited too long, and I'm sorry. Your real father, he was someone I met before your father, someone I loved deeply." I felt my stomach drop. My whole life, every birthday, every family gathering, every story I had been told about my father was suddenly drenched in doubt. Evelyn's voice shook as she began to unravel the story I had never known. She had just been 18, freshly graduated from high school, when she met him, James, a kind, ambitious man who seemed to light up the world with his smile. They fell in love, truly and completely, but life had other plans. "He left town," she said, her voice breaking. "He promised he would write, that he would come back, but he never did. And when I realized I was pregnant, I was scared, alone, and confused. Your father, the man you raised me, he offered to marry me. He didn't know, and I couldn't bring myself to tell him. I wanted stability for you, for the baby I was carrying, and I thought it was the right choice." I sat there stunned. 30 years of my life, of memories, milestones, and identity suddenly felt like they had been built on a fragile foundation of secrets. The next days were a blur. I went through my childhood in my mind, recalling every story about my father, every birthday, every lesson, every hug. I remembered the way he laughed, the way he supported me, the way he looked at me as if he were my world. And I realized even though he wasn't my biological father, he had been my father in every meaningful way. Still, a part of me ached to know who James was. Was he still alive? Would he even care to know me after all these years? Could I forgive my mother for keeping such a secret for 3 decades? I didn't have answers, only questions and the gnawing ache of curiosity that wouldn't leave me alone. With trembling hands, I asked my mother for details, names, places, addresses, anything that could help me find James. She gave me what little she knew. He'd moved to another state, married someone else, and started a family. She didn't know if he remembered me, if he had any idea I existed. I spent the next few weeks digging through old letters, emails, and even social media accounts. Every lead seemed to go cold, every clue ending in disappointment. But I couldn't stop. The need to know the truth, my truth, had become an obsession. Finally, after endless searches and phone calls, I found him. Not the man I had imagined, not the perfect hero of my mother's past, but a man shaped by time, age, and life's burdens. He was older now, with streaks of gray in his hair and eyes that still had the spark my mother had described. I remember the first moment I saw him. His eyes widened, and for a heartbeat, the world felt suspended. You're, he stammered, unable to find words. I'm your daughter, I whispered, tears filling my eyes. Our first meeting was surreal. It was a mixture of joy, pain, and awkwardness. He wanted to hug me, but he froze halfway. I could see the struggle in his eyes, the realization of what had been lost, of time wasted, of a daughter he never knew he had. We spent hours talking. He told me about his life, the choices he made, the regrets he carried, and I told him about mine. The years of growing up, the man I called father, the lessons I learned, and the secrets I discovered. It was emotional, raw, and life-changing. There were tears, laughter, and long silences where words couldn't capture the intensity of 30 years stolen by secrecy. Through all this, I began to understand my mother in a new light. She wasn't perfect, she made mistakes, but she loved me fiercely. Her decision, though painful in its consequences, had been made with the intention of giving me a life that was safe and secure. Forgiveness wasn't instant. It was a process, a slow understanding that love isn't always perfect, that people make choices out of fear and hope, not malice. Meeting James didn't erase the man who raised me. It didn't undo the love, support, or lessons I learned from my father, but it did give me answers, closure, and a connection to the part of my life that had always been a question mark. I learned that family isn't only about blood. Family is about love, commitment, and care, all the things my father had given me without knowing the full truth. I also learned that secrets, no matter how well-intentioned, have a way of shaping lives in unexpected ways. After 30 years, I finally knew who my real father was. But more importantly, I learned about resilience, forgiveness, and the complexity of human choices. I learned that even when life doesn't turn out as planned, we have the power to create our own understanding, our own connections, and our own peace. And sometimes the truths we uncover are not just about other people. They are about understanding ourselves. Secrets have a way of staying hidden until the time is right. Sometimes the people we love most hold the answers to our deepest questions, and sometimes it takes decades to hear them. This was my story. If you believe that some truths are worth waiting for and that family is more than blood, subscribe for more real-life confessions, mysteries, and emotional journeys on Voices of Auntie Carol.